I've brought it out, even without having to make this application. But for purposes of doubting Thomas's, I was obliged to make the same. Much obliged.
Mr. Nyamodi.
Good afternoon again, Chairman. I am taken really by surprise by the submission by my learned colleague, who starts his submission by stating that what he seeks to rely on was prepared under a statutory authority that no longer exists. He then goes on to state that notwithstanding, it then remains a source of law. And he then makes the application that he seeks to rely on it then as a source of law. If it is a source of law, which I submit it is not, then he requires no leave to rely on it. We are enjoined, us as advocates, you as the committee are enjoined by the Constitution to follow the Constitution and the law.
May I just have brief rejoinder?
I'm not finished.
Okay.
Yeah, proceed.
I wanted to make sure that I had the chair's attention, because
Yes.
I want to make then an important point.
Okay, proceed.
If he acknowledges that the law upon which that document, or the authority that prepared that document, no longer exists, the act was repealed, then there is no statutory authority for that document to then be relied on as a source of law or as an interpretation of the law. Second, and perhaps more importantly, Chair, the County Assembly's case closed very late yesterday evening. There is no room in today's proceedings for the Assembly to introduce either any new evidence or any new law. There is an opportunity for parties at the conclusion of this afternoon's testimony to make submissions. And if he intends to rely on law, if he believes it is law, then it is in those closing arguments or submissions that it belongs. And if he brings it up again, I will repeat my objection. It is not law. He acknowledges it isn't, and he has no ability to rely on it. And at this point in time, he doesn't have any room in these proceedings. Thank you.
Chair, in brief rejoinder to what my learned friend has submitted on, the document reads that the transitional authority is established under the Transition to Devolution, Cap 12, pursuant to Section 15 of the 6th Schedule to the Constitution. This document that I'm referring to, Chair, is premised on the Constitution. Section 15 of the transitional clauses to the Constitution. That means that this document is still alive. There is no any other manual that has been generated by any other organ or institution that can guide the question of the constitution of the human resource. As such, Chair, this is not bad law. It's good law simply because it is the manual that is in operation currently, and it is premised on Section 15. Unless Section 15 of the new Constitution, the transitional clauses, has been repealed or has ceased to have the force of law, then Council can submit and have some backing. But as long as the opinion I'm seeking to rely on is premised on that section, Chair, this is good law.
Thank you. Council, I wish to direct as follows on the application made by Council Ndegwa. Council, you should remain alive to the fact that the case for Kirinyaga County Assembly was closed yesterday. But again, you still have an opportunity through cross-examination to refer to any document that you want. You may want to refer to the Constitution. You may want to refer to rulings made by the High Court or the Supreme Court, or whatever source of law that you may want to refer to. That does not stop you to refer to any document. However, the committee, while retreating to make its report, will consider the matter as to whether this advisory made by the Transition Authority is a valid source of law or not. So you only have a window during the cross-examination to refer to whatever you want to refer, including newspapers and whatever documents that will be available for you. So relax. I'll give you time to flex your muscles around and refer to any document that you may wish. Thank you.
I'm well guided and humbled by the directions.
Thank you for that guidance, Chairman.
Now, we have 1 hour to hear the two witnesses. So the 1 hour starts running now.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to call the next witness for the governor, Mr. Joe Muriuki.
Is he around?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Chairman, as we wait for this witness, his statement is on pages 79 to 84 of the governor's response. No, it's not paper. No, wait. It's okay. Come. Okay. Just ask her to come in. Come in. Sorry, Chairman. This witness's statement is from page 85 to 87.
Joe Muriuki.
No, not Joe Muriuki. Joe Muriuki will testify next. This is Kefa Kariuki.
Okay. Okay, Kefa, you will have an option of taking an oath or affirmation. You'll take an oath. Okay, proceed.
I, Kefa Mugambi Kariuki, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So you'll sit directly opposite the chair. Okay. No, Kefa Kariuki. Page 85.
Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Put on your mic.
Chair, my name is Kefa Mugambi Kariuki. I am a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, duly nominated to represent the youths in the great county of Kirinyaga.
You're a nominated MCA. When you speak, address the chair. Look at the chair. Don't look at me.
Yes.
Yeah, and if the hanging mask is making you uncomfortable, you may remove it because it's looking like some earring.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kefa, for how long have you been a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly?
Chair, I have been a member of Kirinyaga County Assembly immediately after the 2017 general elections. We were sworn in office in September, so I've been serving as a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly since then.
To which political party do you belong, if you belong to a party at all?
Chair, I do belong to the Jubilee Party, whose party leader is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Okay, I want to ask you whether you have had an opportunity to have a look at the motion that was filed in the assembly where you are a member for the impeachment of the governor of your county.
Chair, the motion was tabled. We were all served with the notice of motion.
Just one step at a time. Have you seen the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you written a statement in opposition to that motion?
Yes.
Now, would you like to produce that statement as your evidence in chief or as part of your evidence in chief before this committee?
Affirmative.
Chairman, I restate again that that is the statement that runs from pages 85 to 87. Okay, now back to the motion, Kefa. What would you like to tell this committee about the manner in which the motion was prosecuted before the Kirinyaga County Assembly?
Chair, being a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, I am always present in whatever happenings that happen in the County Assembly of Kirinyaga. When this motion was brought, Chair, I vividly remember very well that we raised some issues. I personally raised my reservations towards the mode at which the motion was being brought. Chair, I remember that day before the motion was brought, I was seated, enjoying my lunch at the county cafeteria together with other honorable members, and all of a sudden a discussion arose that someone is to bring something to sign. This something to sign, I wasn't fully aware what was to be signed. So immediately, the documents to be signed arrived with one of the members. I was sought to go ahead and sign. I said that I cannot append my signature to something that I cannot append my signature to something that I am not aware what I am attesting to. So I said I won't sign. Then the other members were coerced to proceed at the back of the county assembly to go ahead and start signing the motion.
Who coerced them to go to the back of the assembly and begin to sign the motion?
The person who brought the papers to be signed started whipping the members at the back of the county assembly to go ahead and sign the papers which he had come with.
Do you know who that was? Do you recall the person who was whipping the other members?
Personally, the person who asked me to go and sign was MCA from Tebere Ward.
He was a member of the assembly?
Yeah, he's a member of the county assembly of Kirinyaga.
Okay. So by whipping you and your other colleagues to go to the back and sign the motion, he was carrying out his duty as an MCA?
I don't know, since I don't think so, since the roles of the members of the county assembly and him not being a chief whip, he's not allowed to whip members of the county assembly.
Okay. Do you recall the date when this happened?
I may not be able to recall the exact date when the Nini was brought about the signing document was brought, but it was before the notice was issued. The notice of the impeachment motion was issued.
It was before the notice of impeachment motion was issued?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when the notice of impeachment motion was issued?
Yes, I do recall when the notice of impeachment motion was issued.
When was it issued?
The exact date, I might need to look at my calendar to remember the exact date when the notice of motion was issued.
Okay. And when the notice of motion was issued, as a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly, do you recall how it was processed or how it was prosecuted through the assembly?
Normally, in the county assembly, when there is an issue of discussion before the House, depending with the weighty matter of the substance of discussion, the motion is first brought to the relevant committee, and the committee then takes that mandate to ensure that the matter is prosecuted, including via public participation. When this motion of impeachment motion was issued, the matter of public participation was one of my highest reservations that I raised, since it was not duly effectively subjected to the correct mechanism for public participation.
When you say the correct mechanism for public participation for an important motion such as this, what do you mean?
I mean that as a practice and customs of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, there are ways which we do prosecute issues which come before the House. First, the clerk of the County Assembly, the clerk of the County Assembly will issue a notice in the dailies requiring the members of the public to issue written memorandum and still gazette and still highlight the date, time, and venue in all the 20 wards when the matter will go for public hearings. The issue before the impeachment, my issue was, this is a very weighty issue and it was not subjected to public hearings, given that this was an issue that needed the governor, who was duly elected by the members of the public, to be removed from office. So that the issue of the members of the public not having been included, because the clerk during the public hearing, the date set for the public hearing, the clerk will assigns each MCA a clerk who will record minutes for the presentation made by the members of the public, and those minutes will form part of the substance report that will be tabled in the County Assembly. So in the normal practice and the normal customs of the County Assembly, the members of public, whether they do understand the national language or whether they do not, some will submit in writing, and those who cannot be able to submit in writing because of one issue or another, the issue is subjected to public hearings, and all those documentations are encompassed to the substantive motion before the House.
Thank you. So, Kefa, it is your evidence that the Kirinyaga County Assembly did not subject this motion for the impeachment of your governor to public participation?
Through the chair, yes.
Now, Kefa, I want to, do you recall when the motion for impeachment was dealt with by the Assembly?
Yes, I do recall.
What was the date?
It was on a Monday. I remember it was on a Monday. I'm not so good in the actual dates, but I remember it was on a Tuesday when the motion was prosecuted before the House. Sorry, not Monday.
All right. Now I want you to tell the committee whether there is anything about or anything out of the ordinary, out of anything unusual about the happenings in the Assembly the day before or even the night before this motion was considered.
Through the chair, it was a very funny day in Kirinyaga County, since on that Monday, the members who are in support for the motion slept in the Assembly chambers. I was not among the members who were supporting the motion, so I still don't know how the members actually slept, given that there were ladies who were supporting the motion and there were still men who were still supporting the motion. And that actually raised a lot of eyebrows, because according to our African culture, something that is being done during the night, it doesn't merge well with our usual customs. We are used to be people of broad daylight. We deal with things when we can see each other, as long as those substantive issues are of common benefit to what the discourse is all about. I remember on the material day, when the impeachment motion was duly laid in the floor of the County Assembly, some of the members who are not for the motion had raised on. I actually was raised point of order, since there was an existing court order, which had issued some conservatory orders with regards to how the motion was to be prosecuted, given that we are in the COVID-19 period. What happened is it didn't merge well with me, given that the governor was not being given a fair hearing. Now that she was party to the motion, she was the person who was being prosecuted. She had not been given a chance to a fair hearing. The matter just prosecuted on Monday that we can go ahead and debate the motion, and then even the other parties were not informed that, and despite the existing court order, we are going to proceed with the motion the next day. So in that aspect, I raised on a point of order, saying that we could have, it was our duty as a county assembly to give notice to the governor that we have overruled the court order and we will be prosecuting the motion instantly, that is tomorrow. So as I was, let me continue, Chair, other members who are not in support of the motion rose still on point of orders. Now that after looking at the back page where the signing of the impeachment motion was, their names were still part of the members who are supporting the impeachment motion, despite them not supporting the impeachment motion. So these members actually raised in point of orders, but there was usual disruptions in the House, and the speaker could not exactly give the point of orders. So at the end of the day, in protest, given that these members were being subjected to having their signatures, yet they never support the impeachment motion, the frustrations by the individual members brought what we saw on TV, members protesting since they duly have their rights, and they cannot be subjected to something they are not party to.
Okay, so what happened on the night before the impeachment motion was dealt with was not a usual occurrence. That is not something that happens ordinarily in the Kirinyaga County Assembly. Ordinarily,
I have never experienced such an issue. It was out of ordinary. Members choosing to spend the night at the chambers.
Okay, I want us to move on to the last part of the testimony. Thank you very much. I want us to move on to the last part of the testimony, of your testimony in chief this afternoon, and I want to show you a part of the governor's response. The governor has filed a response to the motion against her. Yeah, he's holding it there. I want to show you a part of the governor's response, and I am showing the witness, chairman, the file marked travel documents, and I am showing him tab 14L. The file is marked travel documents. 14. It is tab 14L.
The USA trip?
Yes, the USA trip. Okay. Now, Chairman, in that tab there are documents, and at the end of the documents there is a series of photographs. And I want to ask this witness a few questions about those photographs.
We don't have the photographs. but you may furnish the chair with a copy of it.
Now, I want you to look at those photographs, and those photographs are introduced or provided by the governor as part of her response to the allegation that she did not make certain trips. But that's not what I want you to speak to. What I would like you to do, Kefa, is to look at the photographs and identify, tell the committee who you see and you recognize in those photographs.
Through the chair, I can recognize my governor, Kirinyaga County, Governor Mombi Waiguru. I can also fully recognize my majority leader, Kirinyaga County Assembly, Honorable James Murango. And I can tell that they are very happy and smiling.
All right. How many photos are there? That is the first photo. The next photograph?
Yeah, can we be told where these photographs are? Some of us are not having the photographs.
Let the secretariat.
They are under the tab that is marked Italy trip or 14L.
Italy or USA?
Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Members, are we there?
Yes, Chair, we have seen them.
If Honorable Githiomi is there, then everybody is there, right? So you may proceed.
Yeah.
And in the second photograph?
In the second, through the chair, in the second photograph, I can still see the governor, and also I can see the majority leader, James Murango. They are well dressed in some white coats.
And the next photograph?
In the next the next photograph, I can still recognize the James Murango, and I can recognize Her Excellency Governor Mombi Waiguru.
And how many other photographs are there with your colleague and your governor?
Repeat.
How many other photographs are there? Please just identify all the photographs that you can see. How many are there and who do you recognize?
I have, Chair, I can recognize 3 more photos, and I can still recognize James Murango, the majority leader, and Governor Mombi Waiguru, Governor Kirinyaga County.
All right. Is James Murango known to you?
Yes, he is a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga and the majority leader, Kirinyaga County Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Chair, nothing else for the witness.
Thank you. I'll invite Mr. Ndegwa to do cross-examination.
How are you, Mheshimiwa?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well.
Okay.
I don't know whether I gathered correctly your educational background. Did I?
Okay. I can furnish you with the information. Okay.
Yes, please do.
I'm Kefa. I hold a certificate from the College of Insurance. I am a CPA, and currently I'm in the University of Nairobi School of Law.
Well, we shall be welcoming you soon. Now, Kefas, do you know how many members voted for the motion that day?
I think I can just consult my nini, my.
Let me just remind you, there were 23, yes?
Yeah, they are 23, correct.
Did you vote?
No, I didn't.
Were you there?
No, I was not supporting the motion.
What did you do? You abstained?
I did not abstain.
Yes.
What I did,
Okay, I'm satisfied with the answer. Let's move on. How many members abstained?
4.
Were those who abstained supporting the governor or the motion or against the motion?
I cannot be able to talk on behalf of other members.
It is your testimony that a document was brought to you for signature, yes?
Uh-huh.
Did you have a look at that?
No, I didn't.
Do you know the content?
No, I don't.
Was it a motion? Was it a bill? What was it?
I said it was a paper which was supposed to be
It was a
signed.
paper.
Yeah.
You never had a look at it. You never had a look at it, yes?
I was required to sign, so I had to sign on a paper.
With you?
Of course, the person who was bringing the paper to the county assembly, and I never signed. So
Other than you complaining that you never signed,
yes.
Is there any other member who is complaining that he signed and the signature was fraudulently obtained?
Yeah, the members who were protesting that day during the impeachment
Their signatures
motion,
were fraudulently obtained, yes?
That's what they were protesting.
Have they recorded any statement with any police office?
I was not among the
Have
members
they
who was
recorded
complaining.
any complaint?
I was not among the members who was complaining that my signature was
You came here
among
to
them.
testify on that perspective, correct?
I came here to testify that during the impeachment motion, members raised on a point of order saying that their signatures were on the impeachment motion and they did not append their signatures to that motion.
Do you have that member who complained before
The members who complained, they were vividly, they were the members.
I'm asking whether they are
pronounced.
before the committee, not whether they were in the TV.
I'm not sure whether
Okay, thank you. Move on. You are conversant with the provisions of the County Government Act, yes?
Not all.
You are conversant with Section 91 of the County Government Act, yes?
Please read it to me.
You are conversant?
Please read it to me.
I will give it to you to read. Yes, proceed.
Section 91.
Yes.
Establishment of modalities and platforms for citizen participation.
Which is the first platform?
Information communication technology.
I bet.
Town hall meetings.
Wait, a moment, I'm leading you.
Yes.
There is an established statutory requirement that public participation can be done through the establishment of a web, correct?
That is just
I'm
one.
asking you.
That is
a moment, please.
Yes.
That is one of a statutory requirement, correct?
Correct.
Does the County Assembly of Kirinyaga have a website?
Yes.
How often do you visit the website? How often?
Not oftenly.
Not oftenly. Next issue.
Town hall meetings.
Town hall meetings. What is that?
Town hall meetings is organizing public meetings.
Public meetings, yes?
Yes.
And within the COVID-19 circumstances, that could not be done, yes?
That could not be done.
But it's not the only way public participation can be done, yes?
It's one of the key ways,
It's
depending.
not the only way. I'm asking you, it's not the only way public participation can be done, yes?
It's one of the main way when
It's
the
one of the
matter
main
and
way.
the nature of
Okay.
the content of the
hear you,
of the motion
Kefas.
before the House.
Kefas, I hear you.
Yes.
It is one of the main way.
Yes.
You have the act there with you. Read for me the word main.
You need to understand what I'm saying.
I know the law. You'll not teach me the law.
Yes.
Read for us that town halls is one of the main way.
Shall facilitate the establishment of structures for citizen participation, including
Yes.
town hall meetings.
Yes. Including social platforms, correct?
Including town hall meetings.
Yes. Move on.
Budget preparation validation fora, notice boards,
Yes.
announcing jobs.
Do you have a notice board at the assembly?
Yes.
Do you have notice board within the Kiruga town and within Kirinyaga County?
I'm a resident of Moya, so I'm not sure whether in Kirugoya we have.
Okay.
Yes.
I move on. You've satisfied that point. Kefas. As a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga County,
Yes.
are you privy to the correspondences that are exchanged in between the office of the clerk and any other office?
It is the duty of the clerks to furnish us with all the documents that pertains the members.
Yes.
Yes.
But not all the documents, yes?
Of course, not all the documents.
Good. Then can you authoritatively speak to whether the speaker issued any correspondence to the governor or not?
I'm not privy to.
You're not privy to the circumstances?
Yes.
Marvelous. Now, you have imputed an improper motive on the part of the honorable members of Kirinyaga County, yes?
No.
By even saying women and men, yes?
No.
Are you trying to paint them in bad light?
No.
Were you there that night?
No. You need to understand that I said...
Listen, I'm asking you questions,
Yes.
not you asking.
Uh-huh.
Was there a minor within the precinct?
Was there
a minor within the precinct of the county assembly
I
on the
didn't
alleged night?
sleep in the county assembly during the night, so I cannot
were
tell
adults,
who slept.
yes?
Yes.
Good.
What?
Court order. You mentioned that there was a court order, yes?
Yes.
Were you privy to the content of the court order?
Yes.
Which court issued that order and in which case?
Come
Which
again?
court and in which case was the order issued from?
It was Justice Coril.
Yes. Do you know the number of the case? I remind you,
yes,
it is
please.
123 of 2020, which I argued, yes?
I think I need to confirm that with the correct petition.
I then put it 23. Do you
Yes.
know the content of that order?
Furnish me.
Do you know the content or you don't know the content? You are the one who was going to raise the issue, a point of order on the existence of an order.
There
yes?
were conservatory orders which were...
Do you know the content? Are you privy to the content?
I only am privy to the orders which
Yes.
were issued.
And you are the fact that there was a provision on the order that the motion shall stay pending the hearing of the petition or until COVID-19 was to be maintained. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
You're aware of that limp?
Yes, sir, that's part of.
Are you aware that the
wordings.
governor later went to motion was passed or when the motion was being discussed to get further conservatory orders? Yes? You're aware or you're not aware?
On that note, I'm not.
Are you aware that Justice Correo dealt with that issue and said that that order was not violated in that particular order?
No, I'm not aware.
You are not aware.
Yes.
Kefas, during the subsistence of this meeting, did you file
Is it
any case?
Kefas or Kefa?
Kefa for records. Kefa. Did you, during the subsistence of the motion, attempt to stop the county assembly from deliberating over the same?
During what?
The subsistence of the motion, or during the incubation of the motion. Do you recall an nominated MCA called Maureen attempting to stop the process?
Not stopping.
Do you recall?
I do recall raising on a point of order.
No, not at the assembly, at the court. Did you file petition number 119 of 2020?
The petition I filed was not to stop the motion. I filed the petition seeking that my rights of an enabling environment, given that the COVID-19 issue was
Yes.
here with us,
Yes.
and yet and by then the county assembly had not provided.
What was ruled in that petition? Was it dismissed or upheld?
It was dismissed.
It was dismissed.
Yes.
Take you to the photos, yes?
Mm-hmm.
The ones that you've just shown us. Who took the photos? And when were they taken?
These photos have been shown to me.
Yes.
They are part.
Who took the photos and when were they taken?
I don't know.
You do not know.
Yes.
Can you testify upon those photos?
I was asked to
Can you-
identify the people in the photo.
Did the person or did counsel tell you who took the photos?
No.
Did he tell you where they were taken from?
No.
Was it in Italy, India, Kenya, or America? From the photos.
From the photos, I can tell that this is not in Kenya. Yes. Yes. I can tell that. This is not in Kenya. Boy.
That is interesting
Yes.
because you'll take me on a geographical tour of Kenya. Beginning now. Yes? What makes you discredit that photo from having been taken in Kenya? Give us a geographical tour.
Yes. Okay.
I want you to look at the one that is in the file, not the one that you're now looking at.
This is
Okay,
this
go
is
on.
in the file.
Yeah, ours is not colored, that is colored. Okay. What the photo was not taken in Kenya?
What makes me think
Yes.
the photo was not taken in Kenya? Number one, apart from the governor and the majority leader, I can see white men. White men. And I can also see.
I hope you're not a racist.
No, I'm not.
Let's just proceed. Okay, first.
Yes.
Is it all trips that are is it all trips that the governor traveled are in scrutiny in this case? Is it all trips that are under scrutiny in this case?
I'm not privy.
You're not privy.
Yes.
Mr. Ndegwa, your time is up. However,
Yes.
Honorable Kefa is a student of law, and he will soon be joining you in the law practice. So I will add you 5 more minutes so that you may have acquaintance with each other. Is that okay?
Chair.
Okay,
We
5
have
more
for
minutes.
your guidance.
Yes.
Kefas. Yes?
Yes.
You're not able to tell where that photo was taken from, correct? You're not able to tell where the photo was taken from, yes?
Yes.
Tell whether we are scrutinizing all the travels that the governor took or undertook.
Yes, correct.
You are aware that we're scrutinizing that she actually gained beneficial personal benefits from some of the trips, yes?
I am not.
Did the council show you a receipt dated 17th of April 2020?
No.
He never shown you. Good. Now, Kefas,
Yes.
what more do you have that can help your case?
I don't have a case.
No further questions.
Thank you. I will hand over to lead counsel to do the question.
Thank you very much, Chair.
You
Just
have
a few issues.
5 minutes only.
Just a few issues in re-examination. Kefa, you said you have had a look at the petition or the motion. Have you seen any evidence of public participation of any kind?
No.
When public participation is carried out by the assembly, would there be any use or any utility in notices being put on the notice boards within the county assembly?
Come again?
Public participation is being carried out by the assembly. Would it be effective or would it be of any use if notices of public participation were to be put up within the assembly?
Not really.
All right. Thank you. My colleague, Mr. Karani, will ask you a few questions.
Kefa, just a few questions.
Yes.
The first question I wanted to ask is, you read Section 91 of the County Governments Act.
Yes.
It talks about use of internet platforms. I want to ask, is the use of internet in the county, is that a use that can, based on the usage of internet in the county, can that be an effective tool of communication in Kirinyaga?
It cannot be an effective tool in Kirinyaga County.
Yeah, the question is speculative. We object.
Is a resident?
That objection is sustained.
No problem. I will rephrase the question. Based on the people you represent, focus on your ward.
The youths.
The youths, the population that you represent. What tool of public participation would be effective with them, based on even
Speculative
the 2 years?
objection.
From the 2 years that you have been a member of the county assembly and holding that portfolio, what forum have you relied on for effective communication with the youth?
We have always relied on public meetings where they can orally present their views, and we record their views and then take them to the assembly for consideration.
From the issue of the motion to impeach the governor,
Yes.
were those forums utilized?
Those forums were never utilized.
Thank you. Now, the other question I wanted to ask, Article 50 imposes a duty for there to be an impartial body when determining anything that may affect the rights of a person.
Yes.
Was the county assembly impartial based on what happened during these proceedings?
I am privy to the rules of natural justice that you cannot be a judge in your own case. The rules were never followed.
Thank you very much.
Before you finalize, in the normal process of public participation for the county assembly, is it the practice that there is a report on the public participation proceedings?
Yes.
Was there a report on the public participation proceedings for this motion?
No.
The photos that have been shown to you, you've been asked whether you can identify those photos and where they were taken. Have you ever seen those photos anywhere before this day?
At some point, I saw these photos being circulated on WhatsApp groups.
Yes. Who was circulating the photographs?
Chair, that is opening another new line of will not have. That never came in my cross-examination. We object.
So you have seen the photos before?
Yes.
All right. And Kefa, on the final issue on the right of the governor to appear, to your knowledge, was any report made in the House about the governor having been called to appear before the House for the purpose of this motion?
To my knowledge, no. Remember.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will now open up to honorable members to raise any concerns pertaining the presentation. But just before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a representative of the African Parliamentarian Network Against Corruption. Rose Nyamunga is here with us as an observer. She will not contribute, but we just acknowledge her presence. Karibu sana, Senator. We'll start with Honorable Judith Pareno.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Kefa, I just have two issues. This issue of public participation is a very pertinent issue when it comes to issues that touch the citizens of this country. It is in the Constitution that we must have public participation. And yesterday, a witness told us that they did indirect, I think it was David, Honorable David, MCA, said that they did indirect public participation. Are you aware of any, as an MCA who is sitting in that assembly, are you aware of any public participation that, not necessarily town halls, but what was direct? Are you aware of any public participation as an MCA?
Chair, Honorable Senator, I am only aware that the clerk issued a notice in the dailies requiring members to submit their written memorandum. But the written memorandum, I have not seen them being on the floor of the House.
So you have seen nothing like memorandums submitted to that effect?
Yes.
Okay, then you in your evidence this afternoon, you said that the governor was not given fair hearing.
Yes.
Can you elaborate to us what you meant or what you understand by not being given fair hearing? What happened that you ended up concluding that the governor was not given fair hearing?
Chair, Honorable Senator, the governor there was a motion to impeach the governor, and there were grounds which had been attached on the motion. The normal procedure would have been to invite the governor or to invite an independent body to investigate the issues, before discussing and voting for the impeachment motion.
So are you saying that the governor was not invited, or what are you saying about that?
What I'm saying is the allegations that were being alleged, they were never substantiated before the floor of the House.
Are you aware whether the governor was ever given these allegations?
No.
Okay, then finally, you raised a very important issue about proceedings of the assembly, that there are those who are opposed, but found their names listed as among those that were supporting the motion. Are you able to name any of them? Are you able to give evidence to that effect?
I was present during the impeachment, the day when the impeachment motion was being discussed in the House, and the members who are raising point of orders in protest of having their names being part of the impeachment motion signing. I can tell that one member from honorable member from Karumande Ward, honorable member nominated to represent gender, Honorable Lucy Njeri, honorable member for Kabare Ward, was also protesting towards having his signatures appearing. And also Honorable Beatrice Mitaru and Honorable Frederick Vudi.
So how many would you say were shouting in the assembly, wanting to express their opposition?
Chair, Honorable Senator, I will not say they were shouting. They were. I think they were racing on point of orders, yes, but they were not being accorded that chance. They were around 4 members.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Maybe just on the issue of members trying to remove their signatures from the motion, your standing orders, do they allow members to remove signatures? Once you append your signature, can you remove your signature from the motion?
Yes.
You're sure they allow?
I think it's... Yes, I'm sure they allow.
Okay. Shall be requiring you to, or we shall be referring to the standing orders to make that determination, whether they allow the standing orders.
The copy of the standing orders
before that, Chair, with your permission.
Yes.
With your permission, the issue, this came during the COVID-19 times, when these members didn't. You remember the explanation I gave about the signing issue and how it happened. The members told me in protest, as they were presenting their issues, that they have been looking and they have been trying to follow the standing orders to have their signatures removed from the impeachment motion, to no avail.
So you'll furnish the chair with a copy of your standing order so that we ascertain that as we proceed. Honorable Gidiomi, Council, you may furnish me with this.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I have perused the photographs which are in this document, and there's nothing to suggest that the photographs were taken either in Italy or Britain. That is one. The other one is the stamping of the passport. The stamps which were done in Kenya here are clear, and another one in Dubai is also partly clear, but the other one is not clear. So we need to actually know where this stamp was done.
Earlier on, I had made a ruling requesting clear copies of the passport, and I believe Council You are still on your way coming.
I will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Yes. Any other issue? Yes. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Kefa. Kefa, are you one of the people that voted against the motion?
No, I didn't vote.
But you did not vote for it either.
Yes.
You abstained, or you were not? What was the constraint?
After
Why
I was
did
on point of orders, I just felt not being in place to continue sitting in the assembly, so I excused myself.
So you abstained, more or less. Is that what we should take it as?
Yes.
As abstention?
Yes.
I think we have the Hansard report from the County Assembly, which the committee, I'm sure, will make a reference to with regards to some of the things that you've told us. But how many did you say that were people that had their names put on the names appeared as having voted for the motion against Honorable Waiguru?
I said I'm not sure, since I excused myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think then we'll just refer to the Hansard. I think we have the Hansard report in
Yes.
there? Okay, great. No further questions. Thank you.
Honorable Michael Mbito, then we come back to Honorable Gidiomi.
A quick one, Kefa. Tell me, you've mentioned that the MCAs who wanted the from the list.
Yes.
Is there a reason why they didn't send statements? Is there a
Senator.
reason why they have not made it public, or rather even sent a statement to this committee with the same?
During
You're saying
Yes.
that there's some MCAs who signed the impeachment motion and wanted their signatures expunged.
Yes.
Why haven't they put statements?
They were raising on point of orders during that material day.
After that, have they done any statement to that effect?
I don't know.
Is that all? Senator Gidiomi?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I can see there are about 8 trips which were made. I can see one for USA, France, Naivasha, USA, China, Germany, United Kingdom, USA, UK, Italy. Travel. Now, the only trip that we've been guided on is the one on Italy and UK. What happened to the other 7 trips?
Is that a question to him?
Yeah, to Kefa.
No,
He's
that's
the
not.
witness before us.
I don't know.
I don't think, Honorable Gidiomi, the question is well directed.
Okay, let
Though
me put
you
it-
can direct that question to the
let me
chair and
save
place it where
Kefa.
it belongs.
Let me save Kefa, but ask this question. What happened to the other 6 trips? Did the governor travel to the other countries or not? Because the only indicator we have is that she went to UK and Italy, which we have also not proved because of the staff.
Chair, if the senator, with your permission, wants a response from us as counsel for the governor, that can be responded to immediately, including the issue of the passport that he raised.
I will hold that question for now because we are having a witness here.
Yes.
We are raising issues concerning his testimony before this committee. So kindly restrict yourself to the borders of his testimony.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Gidiomi, stand guided.
Yeah, I start guided.
Thank you.
But I will still
Yes.
demand an answer.
I will give you an
council.
opportunity later to ask directly the question to the council. Thank you. Honorable Payai.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I must congratulate Kefa for being nominated to represent youth. Kefa, the party of Jubilee nominated you to represent youth, correct?
Yes.
Can you say in your own statement, are the youth well represented in Kirinyaga County?
Yes.
Thank you.
That is a question is a question, huh? The relevance of the question is subjective again. So as the chair, I will admit that question, that Honorable Kefa is representing the youth of Kirinyaga ably.
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I will pick it up from where my Article 1 of the Constitution belongs to the allegations and charges against the governor, even though I agree with what counsel said earlier in the morning, that there's nothing that stops us from checking how the motions carried through the assembly. So I would assume that what we are doing is relevant. How many motions have you sponsored so far?
Around 2.
Any bills?
Yes.
Any bills?
No.
You are there in your capacity as the representative of the youth of Kirinyaga.
Yes.
In those motions you sponsored,
yes,
how did you that you represent?
I organized what happens on the is will, and the day you will end up having members coming for the meeting.
Did you say them on the?
Yes. What? Okay. I am representing the youths. I am a youth through the chair, and number one, there are those instances as a normal human being, you will react towards an issue before you.
Which is captured in Article 1(2) of the Constitution, that sovereign power may
I will.
I must say I'm happy to be in this house, and I must players will always.
Thank you, and may God bless you. So we shall now allow the second, the last side. Of power sharing and recognizing the position of leadership. I wish to allow my able vice chair to come and take over from me as I retreat as a member of this committee. Honorable Abshiro, you'll now take up the role of the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
To direct. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we'll let Chair get comfortable while we quorum. He'll join us. For members, we shall continue. Can we allow in the next witness? Is it Joe Muriuki?
Yes, Madam Chair. And the last witness is Joe Muriuki. His statement is on page 79 to 84 of the response that has been filed on behalf of the governor.
Thank you, Council. Honourable members, please be advised accordingly. The witness statement is on page 79 of the governor's response to the Welcome, Mr. Muriuki. You may take an oath or affirmation. Which one would you?
Okay.
Please go ahead.
I, Joe Muriuki, do solemnly swear that the special committee, in respect of the matters before the committee, shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Welcome, Bwana Muriuki. We have your witness statement, and we're going to the same rules that apply. We'll have 15 minutes of examination in chief, 10 minutes of cross-examination, and 5 minutes of re-examination. That's only if necessary. If not, council may waive and as well. So you're welcome. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Joe Muriuki, County Secretary, Kirinyaga County.
Right. You're the County Secretary, Kirinyaga County.
Yes, through Chair.
All right. Please tell the committee what your responsibilities are as County Secretary.
Chair, my responsibilities are clearly spelled out in Section 44 of the County Government Act, which includes, besides handling cabinet-related matters, that I'm also the head of the County Public Service.
Now, are you aware that a motion for the impeachment of the governor of the county where you're the county secretary has been filed before the Senate?
Yes, I'm aware.
Have you had an opportunity to read that motion?
Yes, I have.
Now, I just want you to confirm whether you have written a statement in response to that motion.
Yes, I have.
And would you like to produce that statement, Bwana Muriuki, as your testimony or as part of your testimony in chief before this committee?
Yes, I do.
All right. Madam Chair, again for the record, that is the statement that runs from pages 79 to 84 of the governor's response. Mr. Muriuki, I would like you to begin by telling the committee about perhaps the area I want you to shed light on at the beginning is the health.
Mr. Muriuki, you may remove your mask. I'm told that your voice is not very clear. Yeah, thank you.
The area that I want you to begin to shed light on is the health sector in Kirinyaga.
Is there any specific area?
Yes, there is a specific area where I want us to start, and I want to ask you whether you recall whether there was a strike at any time in respect, not in respect, by health workers in Kirinyaga.
Yes, Chair, there was a strike, and that was as a result of the notice that they gave on the 20th of May 2019.
The notice was given on the 20th of May.
Yes.
When did the strike commence?
My understanding is before the end of that month.
And do you know why the strike took place?
Yes, Chair. There were a number of things that they raised, ranging from funds and training. Those were among others.
Promotions and training.
Yes.
Those were the only issues that were the subject of the strike.
Those ones that I recall were the primary ones that they had cited.
And how was the strike resolved?
Let me mention this, that prior to the strike, they sent us a letter where they wanted to have an engagement with the executive. But before the period that they had given us had expired, they issued that notice. So consequently, the executive had no option than to go to the court to seek some legal redress. So the executive went to court.
So is it your testimony, Mr. Muriuki, that the issue of the strike was resolved through court or through litigation?
Yes, yes.
Do you recall what resolution the court gave in respect of that dispute?
Yes, Chair. There are two, may I use the word adjectives that were used? One is that it was unprotected, and two, it was illegal.
The court found that the strike was unprotected and illegal.
Yes, Chair.
And how did the county government of Kirinyaga respond thereafter?
The county tried to see whether it could engage or persuade the striking workers to resume work, even as their grievances were being addressed. And despite that, those efforts, and even warning, telling them the consequences of engaging in an unprotected and illegal strike, they still ignored and went on strike, and never even honored, even when a moratorium was extended to them, even after the court ruling. Some still do not respect or take that one seriously.
And what was the county government's response to the continued strike of these health workers in Kirinyaga?
Faced with the responsibility of any government, and most of the county government, to protect the interests of the residents of Kirinyaga, it had to undertake some measures to prevent the collapse of the health services in the county. So consequently, eventually, through the Public Service Board, it did advertise for those positions for the workers that it did not resume work within the stipulated period.
There is a gap in your testimony. You are advertising for positions and your employees are still employed by the county government. I'll ask the question again. What was the county government's response to the employees' continued remainder on strike?
They were fired through County Public Service Board.
How many of them were fired?
My correction is there were 549.
549 were fired.
Yes.
Oh. Go on. You were saying that they were hired, or the county government then hired new staff.
Yes. It hired 359 through County Public Service Board because 85 already took advantage of the moratorium.
Okay. So it fired, let's just get those figures correct again. How many were fired?
549.
How many took advantage of the moratorium?
185.
Okay, so that we get the correct perspective, before the strike, how many employees did the Kirinyaga county government employ in its health sector?
1,265.
So you had an establishment of 1,265 health workers.
Yes, through Chair.
All right. And as a result of the strike, how many were terminated?
549 through Chair.
And how many did not go on strike?
716 through Chair.
Took advantage of the moratorium.
185.
So after the strike, and after those who returned to work and those who took advantage.
pressure from our healthcare systems. And this is in consideration that 78% of infected persons are asymptomatic or have mild symptoms which can be managed at home. These guidelines have been developed taking into consideration our local socioeconomic situation, and the guidelines have been translated into Kiswahili, and counties are urged to translate them into local languages. And it is important for Kenyans to note the process of development of these guidelines actually involved a lot of community participation. The Ministry of Health officials and experts were able to engage with the different members in the communities, the village elders, our community-based organizations, to be able to get guidance as to how Kenya can best adopt a home-based care approach, particularly for asymptomatic cases. So, ladies and gentlemen, the positive cases that we are now reporting, as you all know, are a result of community transmission. And we are aware now that the disease is firmly within our urban and rural settings. And as of yesterday, 40 out of 47 counties had reported cases of COVID-19, which amounts to about 85% of counties in the country. Nairobi is leading with 2,428 cases, followed with Mombasa with 1,304 cases, followed by Busia and Kajiado, which have had many cases in terms of cross-border truck drivers. And we have the numbers at 361 and 179 cases respectively. The other cases that we've had 155 from Kiambu, Uasin Gishu has had 66, Migori 59, Kilifi 52, Kwale 51, Machakos 44, Nakuru 32, Garissa 25, Taita Taveta 25, Kisumu 20, Mandera 18, Wajir 17. And this information is available for you, articulating the cumulative caseload per county in the country. Mombasa and Nairobi city counties have had the highest infection rate of COVID-19. And we've been able to look at this and define that Mombasa has an attack rate of about 107, whereas Nairobi has about an attack rate of 55. And these statistics are important because it tells us that the risk of transmission, the risk of you getting COVID-19 is higher in Mombasa compared to Nairobi counties. And again, we're working to ensure that we are actually able to define risk per county as we continue going forward. And therefore, from all these statistics, it becomes less tenable to isolate confirmed COVID-19 patients in hospital-based treatment. And therefore, as we roll out the home-based care protocol, it's important to note that we are focusing on our high-burden counties, particularly those that have a high attack rate. And as highlighted, that is Mombasa and Nairobi. We are working with community health workers and volunteers to ensure that we educate our households and our caregivers in this program. And the training, as I've said, is targeted particularly in the high-risk counties, and this is where we will start the rollout of the home-based care protocol. In terms of training, some of you might wonder, what exactly is this training focused on? And the idea is that we're able to go to households, we're able to get in touch with the family members, take them through what it means to be eligible for home-based care. So not every single Kenyan is eligible for home-based care. There's actually a criteria that determines who would be able to be enrolled into the home-based care program. We then review the feasibility. How are you able to actually ensure that the home-based care program is working in your household? And then what are the procedures that need to be in place? How do we monitor? How shall the healthcare worker be able to engage with you to ensure that we're looking after you and your family and ensuring that you're adhering to the home-based care protocols? It is important to know that our training goes further to empower individuals and households with basic knowledge, skills, and competencies to be able to enable them to function as caregivers of COVID-19 patients. And in addition to this, we are utilizing our other community-based structures, such as the Nyumba Kumi initiative and the community health committees, to ensure that there is actually compliance of these protocols. For eligibility, eligible patients for this program are usually assessed by a healthcare worker. And as mentioned and highlighted yesterday by the DG, the first criteria is that you have to be COVID-19 positive. Number two, you have to be asymptomatic. That means you do not have or you do not present with the symptoms ama zile dalili za COVID-19. Or if you have any symptoms, then you have very mild symptoms and you have no underlying medical conditions. Asymptomatic patients are therefore put in this program. And in terms of discharge, how does the discharge criteria look like? Discharge happens at 14 days from the date of the first COVID-19 test. And this must be in line with ensuring that at the point of discharge, this patient does not have any symptoms. So you've been at home for 14 days. We did your first test. It was COVID-19 positive. We've come back at 14 days. We've done a subsequent test and you're negative and you have no symptoms. If we have mild symptomatic patients, these ones will only be discharged if they have not developed fever for at least 72 hours. And this is important. As highlighted earlier, we are focusing home-based care on patients who do not have symptoms or those who have mild symptoms. If you have mild symptoms and one of the symptoms you have is fever, raised temperature, then it would mean that you're only discharged from home-based care upon you not recording a fever for 72 hours, and that you're also not on any medication that would be helping suppress your fever. Now, in the event that your condition deteriorates, because we appreciate that, yes, you could be asymptomatic and you're enrolled in the home-based care protocol, and perhaps at some point your condition deteriorates, what actions can you take as a caregiver? One, you call the 719 number. You could also do the text message, and you could also contact your designated healthcare worker, and a process of admission would then ensue from that point. Now, onto our COVID-19 situation. In terms of statistics today, we tested 4,859 samples, of which 254 people tested positive for the virus. Therefore, this brings to total our country caseload to 5,206. The total number of tests conducted thus far cumulatively from the beginning is 151,396,000 tests. All the positive cases are Kenyans, and we have 186 of them as male and 68 as female. And it's important to note the trend continues. Our male patients, our Kenyans, our fathers and brothers continue to be the ones who are highly afflicted with COVID-19. With regard to the 254 positive cases, in terms of county distribution, we have Nairobi having 127, Mombasa having 36, Migori 29, Kajiado 22, Kiambu 12, Busia 9, Uasin Gishu 5, Murang'a 3, Machakos and Kilifi have registered 2 cases, and we have 1 case from Nakuru, Siaya, Taita Taveta, Garissa, Isiolo, Kakamega, and Kisii, all having 1 case. We do also have distribution in terms of sub-county, and I'll highlight some of the key ones. I won't go through to all of them. In Nairobi, from the 127 cases, we now have 32 cases from Westlands. In terms of Dagoretti North, we have 18. Lang'ata has 16. Kamukunji has 14. Embakasi East has 12. In terms of Mombasa, we have 36 cases from Mombasa, of which 11 are from Mvita. Jomvu has 8. Kisauni and Likoni both have 5. And in Migori, the area that has the most caseload would be from Suna East. In Kiambu, of the 12 cases that we've mentioned, most 4 each are from Thika and Kiambu town. In Busia, in terms of the 9 cases, we have 7 from Teso South. In Uasin Gishu, the 5 cases, we have 3 from Ainabakoi, and Tabo and Keses have 1 case each. In Machakos, we have a case in Athi River and 1 in Matungulu. And in Kilifi, we have 2 cases in Rabai and 1 in Kilifi South. We will provide you with this disaggregated case list. What we are noticing is that now the disease is really spreading across all the different wards within the country in terms of the counties that are afflicted. Yesterday, there was a question with regards to the testing in the country in terms of the numbers tested positive out of the cumulative number tested, and we've also provided this information for you today. Again, I won't go through it all, but if we can touch on a few counties. With regards to Busia, in terms of the samples that were collected in the last 24 hours from Busia, we have about 9 cases that tested positive out of a total of 353. So what this means is that in the last 24 hours, we have a positivity rate in Busia of 3%. I'm going to try and pick out perhaps what we'd have in Nairobi. In Nairobi, we have 127 cases, of which in terms of samples collected, we did 2,484 in Nairobi County. Again, giving us 5% positivity rates in Nairobi. And it is important, and I'm sure we'll ask the DG to expound on what it means in terms of this positivity rate. We have it differing. We have counties such as Kajiado in the last 24 hours having a positivity rate of 15%. I'm sure the question will be, what does that mean for Kajiado? We have counties like Kakamega with 1 positive case out of 5 samples collected, so 20% positivity. We shall highlight to you perhaps during the question and answers session what this means. Ideally, it is a statistic that is useful for us. However, it needs to also be interpreted with caution and in view of looking at other statistical figures, but I'm sure the DG will talk on that. On a positive note, we have discharged 41 patients from various hospitals, bringing the tally of recoveries to 1,823. And our gratitude goes to the healthcare workers for the good work. However, sadly, we've lost 2 more patients to the disease, bringing a total number of those who've succumbed to 130. And our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of those who have departed. And as we conclude, we would like to thank our healthcare workers, and in particular our community health volunteers, who are supervising the home-based isolation care program in conjunction with experts in the Ministry of Health, and we thank them for their commitment and dedication. And the success of this program really is pegged on them and the adherence of these protocols. And as highlighted, the protocols are available at the Ministry of Health's website. If you Google www.health.go.ke, you'll be able to see these protocols there, articulating all the measures that need to be taken, how you're able to actually enroll into the program, what the eligibility criteria is, how monitoring and supervision is conducted within the program, how discharge looks like, and what follow-up would also look like upon discharge. And finally, let us all remember that our first line of defense to beat this virus remains the adherence to the containment measures. And as we all know, these are washing our hands with soap and running water, maintaining physical distance, and wearing of masks when we're in public places. Thank you. Questions?
Hi, my name is Graham Kajila from The Standard. My question is about the home-based care guidelines. Do you have any criteria that could make you stop, like a patient who is at home, is on home-based care, and then you see how they are behaving and you decide that this patient is supposed to go back to hospital? That is apart from developing any serious symptoms. Because I'm asking this because a family member probably could get the disease, and will the family member still be handled as a home-based care patient? And the other question is, how does the number of samples actually mirror the number of people who have been tested? Because I understand you say that we can get samples from the nose and the throat. Those could be 2 samples from 1 patient. So how many patients exactly, or people exactly, have we tested?
I'm Purity Museo from KBC. My first question, would you kindly elaborate on why Mombasa County has a higher attack rate as compared to other counties? Does it have anything to do with the containment measures? And then you said that 78% of patients are asymptomatic, and WHO again says that these patients cannot transmit this virus. We have over 5,000 cases right now. Who exactly is transmitting this virus? Is it the 12% that is asymptomatic? On the fatalities, lastly, kindly an elaboration on the 130 cases that we have so far. How many lost their lives while receiving treatment, let's say, under critical care, and how many lost their lives while at home?
Nayoma Sampao from NTV. My question is about home-based care. what is the criteria of following up to ensure that the process is effective? Again, South Africa has started testing vaccines. I would like to know what is Kenya's contribution to that?
Okay, I'm Haemba from Ebro TV. My question is, maybe with more than 40 counties so far affected, it actually implies that almost the entire country is affected with this pandemic. Maybe my question is, as Kenya as a country that is actually embedded, that actually embraces the social cultural beliefs, what is the way forward maybe for the cultural beliefs of some of the communities in the country which actually maybe practices certain beliefs in certain periods within the country? The way forward.
Thank you. My name is Ben Kirira from K24 TV, and my first question is on cases of home care patients. We have had claims of home care patients are leaving their houses without protection. Are you in a position to confirm or deny this? My second question is on teenage pregnancies. Last briefing yesterday, you mentioned that in a survey conducted last year, you found out that there are 4,000 teenage pregnancies. Also, in a recent briefing, Dr. Patrick Amol mentioned that there are 400,000 teenage pregnancies according to a demographic health survey in 2019. Can you kindly elaborate on that? And lastly, of the 4,859 cases tested in the last 24 hours, I would like to know where do you place these people as they await their results? Do they go home, or do you have a certain isolation facility you keep them as they await their results? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for your questions. I'll start with Graham's question with regards to the criteria for stopping home-based care approach, and I think there have been numerous questions that are tied to this. We have another one regarding the monitoring of home-based care. We have Ben asking whether patients, are walking around in terms of home-based care and how we're monitoring them. And we also have... I think those are the main questions touching on home-based care. So yes, indeed, like we said, our protocols, were really developed in conjunction with community leaders and with Kenyans themselves. And the team within the ministry was able to engage along with partners. What does it mean to actually have home-based care set up in Kenya, in Nairobi, in Mombasa? How will that work? And what we did is that there was actually a pilot exercise that was undertaken. And through the pilot exercise, we were able to come up with a criteria. And as highlighted, and the DG will expound on this, there's an assessment of who can actually be eligible to home-based care. And part of this eligibility, beyond being positive, is really the feasibility or the ability of you to be able to undertake home-based care. Now, breach of home-based care is actually a breach, one, on your own, health and that of your community, and that we would take seriously. And so patients who are on this home-based care are actually under follow-up, and it's a follow-up process that is tiered. So you have a community supporting and participating in terms of ensuring that there's friendly supervision and enforcement of that. We have looked and tried to define mechanisms of how we can actually identify the households in a particular estate or in a particular village who would be undergoing home-based care. Of course, noting that we do not want to create a situation of stigma when it comes to those who are undergoing home-based care. So it's important to note that this is a program one. It has undergone a pilot evaluation. It is something that we are monitoring as we continue deploying it. It is a program that we are taking extreme caution in terms of deploying it and ensuring that we are actually able to ensure that there is that monitoring and evaluation. And I'll ask the DG upon conclusion here that he elaborates further on this program in terms of the questions asked. There's a very good question regarding the samples, in terms of when we say you have 1,000 and something samples taken, are we taking into account the nasal swab and the oral swab? Yes. So for you to actually be able to undergo, a testing, procedure in terms of COVID-19, you do require those two swabs and samples taken. And remember, as we've highlighted in the past, there are patients who actually would have consumption of, more than one set of swabs and oropharyngeal swabs. But again, I'll ask the DG to highlight on this in terms of sample collection. And if, at the end of the day, I think the question is, disease. When we say we've done, 4,000 tests, are we saying those were 4,000 swabs, oral swabs, 4,000 nasal swabs? And the answer to that would be yes and no, depending, because there are patients who end up having 2, 3, swabbing procedures done at the same time. And remember, it's important, even as you take the swab, you actually conduct the procedure well to be able to get the sample that you're after. And so sometimes there could be discarding of one sample or one swab. With regards to the question in terms of the disease having, affected most counties, yes, it's true. Right now we do have a record of 40, and that's why we've been trying to now share our positivity rate and our attack rates in terms of county distribution. And we've always said there's already community transmission within the country, and if we don't continue adhering to our measures, then the idea is that at the end of it all 47 counties might actually be afflicted. And we've said in the coming days, remember, perhaps we've not reached our peak yet, so our numbers shall continue rising. And this is a situation that we will see evolving. There's a question regarding from Purity Museo in terms of why Mombasa, why Nairobi, what is the difference there? And again, an issue that is under study, and it is a function of multiple variables when you look at that. There are certain, perhaps, should I say, variables when it comes to adherence of measures. For Nairobi, we all know one of the reasons why we are one of the high burden counties is because we had our import cases coming here, and that's the same situation in terms of Mombasa. At the beginning of this pandemic, importation started within Nairobi and Mombasa. And it's important to note also, perhaps because of the high mobility, these are rural, these are urban towns that have a lot of activity, high mobility, a lot of contact between individuals, and these are factors that have contributed to those counties having the highest attack rate. Perhaps going forward, the question becomes, how will this attack rate evolve? And could this attack rate actually be a measure of each and every one of us when it comes to containment measures? Because remember, we've told you it's a measure of risk. So if you're in Mombasa and Nairobi, then it is expected that you actually are more, on guard in terms of ensuring that you're adhering to the measures. There is a question on asymptomatic cases, again from Purity Museo. Again, we are trying to study the disease, and I do remember actually at the beginning, of this pandemic, we felt that perhaps caution was necessary in terms of asymptomatic cases. A lot of studies have been undertaken to be able to find out at what point in the disease is an individual actually most, transmittable. At what point of the disease are you shedding the most virus, meaning you're dangerous in that phase of the disease. And right now, the data varies in terms of this. We had indication of, from day 1 to 5. 5 is the day to watch, 5 to 10. This keeps changing in terms of new emerging evidence. But what we want to say is we want to still take caution. Even if you're asymptomatic and you're positive in terms of COVID-19, you still have to adhere to the measures.
Let me mention this. You have conveniently omitted subsection A, 3A, which says the county secretary is also the head of the county public service. So I have other mandates I can implement under that umbrella.
Yes, I know. But for this particular task force report, were you commissioned by the relevant executive officer of the county to implement it?
The relative executive officer, yes.
Do you have the minutes of that meeting that took the decision to allow you to implement the task force report?
I mentioned before that was a directive by Her Excellency the Governor.
Okay, there was no minutes.
It was not necessary to be done through minutes.
Okay, I take that. You have testified in length about the status of the health in Kirinyaga County, yes?
Yes, through Chair.
And I also bet or gather that you have some medical background in terms of your qualification, correct?
Absolutely not.
Now, you have also said that there were incinerators that were procured, correct?
Yes, through Chair.
Do you have the tender number that's provided for the procurement?
I'm sure that question is better addressed by
No, I'm asking you. You are the one. You are the
there
owner
are
of
documents,
that.
but I don't have.
Listen, you are the owner of that piece of evidence. You are the owner, yes?
No. What evidence are you talking about?
I'm asking, do you have proof of purchase of the incinerator?
If you are, I'm sure I can get the documents, but
you don't have now.
Please understand, I think through Chair, I don't know how much the council knows about the structure of a county government, and especially the role of the county secretary. I am the head of the county public service of about 3,000 employees. So I don't get involved in virtually every decision but however,
I hear you.
Overall, in terms of the direction, yes,
I hear you, but my question is simple. Do you have evidence of purchase of the incinerator?
I don't have with it, but there is evidence.
You don't have.
For record, Chair.
Council, your time is up.
Only one more question. Now, you testified to the effect that the reinstated individuals would have were way over and above the job, the people who are supposed to be working, yes?
Yes.
And that their reinstatement created a crisis, yes?
I didn't say about the crisis.
Yes.
You're the one who was saying.
Yes. Why you are aware that there are allegations that there are 77 members who are not paid, health workers?
Yes, as a consequence of the
recruitment.
County Public Service Board not playing the correct role.
Yes. So there means there is no synergy between the office of the County Public Service Board and the office of the governor because of the directives the governor gave for the moratorium, yes?
Absolutely not true. Let me mention through Chair.
No, I'm okay with the answer.
Yeah.
So are you trying to tell us that there is redundancy
Council,
of
the
employees?
one question has become three.
That's
So
the
I'm
last
going
one.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Is there then redundancy?
What do you mean by
redundancies? There are people who are not working. They are just there. They wake up in the morning in the job market, in the job for medicals.
I think it depends on whom you're asking about, because
about the 77.
You see, the 77. The position is this.
Yes.
I actually, even the County Public Service Board, I think it was on 4th of January 2020, I actually funded the executive's decision for them to recall the letters that they had irregularly issued, but they have not done.
Do you have that statement?
Let me check whether it is part of the document.
Okay, and finally confirm that these 77 people are being paid.
Council, I'm going to order you to take your seat.
Much obliged.
Council for Governor, do you wish to re-examine? Please go for it.
Very, very shortly. Issues have been raised to you regarding the questions of employment of public servants. Let me understand, who advertises for positions for employment in the county?
Okay, it depends on the kind of position. For public officers.
Let's talk for public officers at director level. Who advertises?
Is the County Public Service Board.
Who determines the qualifications before advertising?
What happens is the requesting officer can stipulate through an itinerary. But however, it is the mandate of the Public Service Board to ensure that the advertisement meets the qualifications required.
You said this in your initial, you alluded to this in your initial statement. Before the interview for the positions of director administration, there was an advert for that position.
Yes, through Chair.
And that advert indicated the qualifications as what?
Director of administration, and my recollection is that it is stated a degree or diploma holder.
So by the time the interview happened, that advertisement had been done by the board indicating diploma holders.
Yes, and they are the ones who also recruited, interviewed, and even appointed the
And they're the
officer.
ones who issued the appointment letter. Now, on the question of the numbers, once again, what was the total number of health workers by the time before the strike started?
1,265.
Without these 77, what was the total number of the ultimate number after re-engagement of new health staff?
About 1,260.
If you had added the 77, you would have had a crisis in terms of your budget. That being the difference of that budget.
About 81 million per year.
Did the county have an allocation for that 81 million shillings?
Not through Chair.
Do you have it now?
Not through Chair.
Thank you.
Chair, we have no other re-exam for this witness.
Thank you.
That was our last witness. record, Chair, our appreciation for the manner in which the committee has enabled us to lead evidence, and to put on record the fact that the governor's response is the document paginated together as the response, together with the three witness statements, I'm sorry, they're not affidavits, that come after it, and all the documents that have been provided in the various volumes that we have supplied to the committee. I thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council. Council, one moment, please. I would like to give opportunity to the senators to also ask for clarification. Honourable members, as you know, it's a clarification we are seeking, not really examining or cross-examining or examining in chief. So we'll keep it concise and we'll keep it short, so that then we may be able to have all our closing and all other things, and the committee to retreat and determine a few things before we come back. So please, if you could just raise your hands, and we could start with Senator Pereno, then Senator Mpaye. Chair, you'll be third.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Muriuki.
Thank you.
For your statement. Just three clarifications that I'm seeking from you. We were informed by Dr. Gashoki, Agnes Gashoki, who was former CEC, that that after the moratorium 77, the 77 health workers came back, you issued them with letters, and from July 2019 to date, they have not been paid, and that there is a case in court. I would like to hear more about that and what happened. Then the second thing about the picture that was painted by Dr. Godi, if I'm not wrong. She said that, and even Agnes said that she resigned after she was told to close all the dispensaries, and that over 30 dispensaries are closed to date. That's her statement. And then and she resigned because of that, as per her statement. And then Dr. Godis indicated that there are so many dispensaries that are so dilapidated, that they are so badly off, that at one point you even find snakes and all rodents all over. The environment is not fit, and she really painted a bad picture of your health system. I would want to hear why should make such allegations if they were not true. If we visited, suppose this committee visited, what would we find of the dispensaries that were depicted in this manner?
Witness, you may answer.
Through Chair. Let me first mention about the 77, where the statement was made that they have not been paid. It is true they have not been paid for the reasons that I stated earlier. There is no budgetary provision for that. They also mentioned that she resigned because of that the dispensary is being closed. Honorable Senator, and through Chair, let me mention this. Given the position that I occupy, such a decision I would have known, because I was one of the key members who are trying to coordinate the crisis. And there is no such decision that was made by Her Excellency the Governor, and that is and she is even not there to confirm that that is still happening. So it's not true. That's what I'm saying. It's not true. On the issue of Dr. Gall, the dilapidated condition of the dispensaries, I'm not surprised because I know she is an activist of some kind. And obviously they were very, very upset because lost the cases in the court when the strikes were declared illegal and in fact through Chair, they were even denied audience by the court. So consequently, I wouldn't be surprised as a human being she has bitterness towards that effect, But that does not mean that's the truth, and you are welcome even to visit the county and confirm for yourself.
Senator Mpaye?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Bwana. What was your name? Morioki, County Secretary.
Thank you.
In your statement, you said about Kerogoya Level 4, Level 5 is equipped with broad and various new units, correct? Yesterday, we had a witness that stated most of the treatments, palliative and curative, are currently being handled by the neighboring county hospitals of Nyeri and Embu. Do you have the evidence to back up the current statement on the current service operations and employment of more staffs? 2, the functional state of the said existing facilities.
Witness, you may answer.
Through Chair, let me mention that the allegation that a lot of our patients are going to our neighboring hospitals, actually, through Chair and with respect, is actually contrary to the situation that we have been experiencing in the ground, because actually we know a lot of patients from other counties are the ones who have been patronizing our facilities. In terms of the functionality of Kerogoya County Referral Hospital, and any person can actually even confirm this, it is fully functional, and in fact, we are, as I mentioned, even eye clinic services, and I can assure you it is fully functional.
Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm alive of the fact that we are supposed to restrict our questions within the borders of Mr. Muriuki's statement. However, given his position, Madam Chair, as a county secretary, I would wish you grant me permission to seek clarification on a matter that is not encapsulated in his statement. So I will be seeking your permission before I ask the question.
But is it relevant to the general charges that have been preferred against the governor?
Yes, it is.
Okay, if it is, I'll allow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. There was an allegation brought forth by one of the witnesses yesterday that Kirinyaga County government has got no coffee shop in the United States of America. Can you attest to this committee? Do we have a coffee shop owned by the Kirinyaga County government in the United States of America? Do you know of such a shop?
Through Chair, of course, you caught me off guard, but to be quite honest, I wonder whether I'm competent enough to respond to this, but I'm not aware.
You've shown this committee that you're well versed with information about development, the development agenda of the governor. You've stated about hospitals that have been done by the governor. You've stated about facilities that have been equipped, roads that have been done. So you want to tell this committee that you do not have any iota of information that there is a coffee shop in the United States owned by the Kirinyaga County government? Yes or no?
I'm not aware of any.
Thank you.
Senator Kajwang.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, County Secretary. You have the functions of your office, as you've told us, as stated in Section 44 of the County Governments Act and that of the Public Service Board in Section 59. Madam Chair, health is devolved and it's extremely important, and it is something that
I wish even we had more time to, get evidence from the county on how robust its health systems are. CS, you have put in your documents supporting your statement a letter dated 4th of July 2019, which is a media statement signed by the governor. My understanding of your functions and those of the County Public Service Board is that you're head of the County Public Service. Is that correct?
Yes, through Chair.
And together with the County Public Service Board, you have some dual responsibility to manage, administer the County Public Service.
Yes, through Chair.
And I would not expect the governor to give directives or instructions to members of the public service on issues that are contractual in nature.
Yes, through Chair.
The letter dated 14th of July, that is in your pack, the media statement, I believe you're aware of it. County Directive on Back-to-Work Terms for Health Workers in Kirinyaga County.
Senator Kajwang, is that in the responses or in one of the files?
It's in the supporting documents that have been referred to by the witness in his statement.
What file number was that?
It is a file marked health.
Are you? Can you give can somebody please give the witness so that he may be apprised of the?
He has referred to all these appendices in his statement.
Let's remind him.
It's a media statement dated 4th of July. Through the chair, Joe, we're on the same page?
Yes, thank you. Through Chair.
Okay. But the only thing I wanted to find out about this letter, in what capacity then was the governor issuing back-to-work instructions to health workers?
Through Chair, help me. Let me please respond as follows. The governor, Article 179 of the Constitution, is the CEO of the county. My simple interpretation is that as officers, we report to her in that capacity. And in fact, the county government goes ahead even to specify other functions that she may perform. So the statement to me, through Chair, it is in line with her duties as a governor. And in fact, the law also gives her the ability to do anything that helps to execute the functions of her office.
Thank you, Joe, because that is 179.4 that designates the governor as CEO and deputy governor as deputy CEO, respectively, which I agree with. So it means that with leadership comes responsibility.
Yes, through Chair.
Meaning that sweeping power and role and duty of a governor as a chief executive officer would mean that if there were sectoral failings, then she would be expected to correct them as a chief executive officer. Because this was a sectoral failure falling within your domain as county secretary and county public service board and health. She stepped in as CEO in accordance with the Constitution. Is that right?
Yes, you are. Through Chair.
Okay, that's fine. One thing I've seen a sign of leadership in this letter is a second last paragraph. Second last paragraph, where the governor says that going forward, she has requested the Senator of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Charles Kibiru, to convene sessions to address concerns in the health sector while bearing in mind the constraints faced by the county government, which I believe is a statement made by virtue of a position as Chief Executive Officer. Would you let us know, as a committee, what was the outcome of that initiative? because you've adduced it as evidence to support your statement.
Through Chair, let me mention something probably that may help to understand the background in terms of this letter. My understanding and interpretation of the prevailing situation at the time of the strike was actually there was a lot of political aspect. And it was actually the strike was taking a political direction. So my only assumption, and I don't know, is that is the contextual framework within which this probably the comment was made, but Her Excellency the Governor probably would be in a better position to state further.
Well, since you are the one on the witness stand, maybe my final question, are there other competent bodies beside the Court of Law that have adjudicated this matter? Have these health matters come before the Senate, come before the County Assembly? And has there been any resolution in any of those bodies?
Only in terms of the court that it gave its final position.
The County Assembly? Has there been any inquiry into health issues in Kirinyaga?
Yes, I know, through Chair, they have written.
But not resolved?
Not resolved, through Chair.
The Senate?
I think, through Chair, this is the time that I'm seeing correspondence from Senate, to the best of my recollection, but I start guided.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Is there any other person that would? Oh yeah, Senator Mbito. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Miruki, I think when I visited you with the Senate Health Committee
yes,
to Kirinyaga County,
yes,
and we do these things there. But let me not go that direction today. I want to. There's this folio, this thing you gave us. There's something inside the file that talks about Kirinyaga Investment Development Authority. Just very briefly, could you tell us what exactly this authority is? What is its legal status? Briefly, what does it do? And why you put it here? I found it in this health file. And also, where is it domiciled? Does it have registered offices or what? It's in this same health file.
Yeah.
First document.
Yes, I have seen, through Chair about, and yes, for record purposes, yes, I'm sorry on this, so I said I started correcting. Yes, I do recall you came to the county during that time, so correction. And on regard of this KIDA, you asked why it is domiciled. I know that
what is the legal status, first of all?
There is a KIDA Act.
Is it a task force in authority? Is it a parastatal?
It's an authority which was established through an act of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga.
Mm-hmm. So, where is it based?
It is based in Kirinyaga.
But those are offices for this. Because I'm seeing all its meetings seem to be held at. Does the county have an office in Nairobi? I'm seeing all the meetings of this board are being held at Delta House. Is that legal even?
We used, through Chair, to have, the county used to have an office at Delta House, and probably that could explain the reason why some meetings were held there.
It does not have an office in Kirinyaga?
It also has.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let me just read it. Can I even see? Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. I think Senator Mugo has a question. Senator, can you hear us? Would you like to ask your question, or should we ask for you? Maybe you can give it to Chair to ask for her. One of the senators can. You're muted. You're muted. Senator Beth, you're muted. Okay. I think what we'll do, please give it to one of the.